Welcome to the American Rambler with your host Paul Grofton, here on the bastion of unfree speech, better known as YouTube. On Wednesdays, I like to help the ladies out with some of their dating woes. Okay, now one of the things that I'm a little confused about, how can there be both a shortage of economically available men at the same time while there's a wage gap? If all these women are being so successful, then I guess there is no wage gap, or the wage gap is in reverse where the men is making less. Now, my accountant friend says it is not how much you make, but how much you save. Now, I've seen people who literally make six figures and are in debt six figures. And this has nothing to do with their house. They overextend themselves. Remember our 2006, 2008 recession where people kept borrowing on the increased equity of the house and the equity went down. So you have to remember the real estate market is going to come in cycles just as much as the stock market will. Now, I've been watching a few podcasts from Fresh and Fit and Tyler the Fiend. It's kind of, they got the point through. I just don't know how many times you need to see it. You are looking at these women with all these so-called standards, which are not really standards. They are just ways to exploit men. And then the one I saw from Tyler the Fiend, she was hilarious, but completely clueless. The men do not owe you to be their boyfriend, just as much as women do not owe any man to be their girlfriend. Okay, so she's saying she's pretty, she has business acumen, she has her own money, she has her own mind. Okay, so let me translate that to you. She has her own mind means that she's not going to listen or care about your own opinion. She's pretty, which she's not really pretty. She's got these freaky long nails and some weird, looks like acrylic paint on her lips. And then these false eyelashes that need clearance from the FAA. Because they stick up so much in the air. No, you are not pretty. You are somebody that is craving attention. You don't want a boyfriend. You just want attention from a man. And the men are looking at you and going, no, this woman is trouble. Matter of fact, a majority of women in America are trouble. I do not even advise men to even pursue any woman in America. I don't care how sweet, how kind she is. The laws are so rigged that you don't get it. Okay? I put in a poll on my Twitter feed, okay, this example. How many of you are willing to pay an employee after she quits or she gets fired, and you have to pay them for the rest of their life? Nobody would agree to that. Now, look at these women today. They not only say, well, I'm not used to that lifestyle, so you should continue paying my bills until I can make it on my own, whether that's marriage or copulating or just dating. No. You wanted to upgrade your lifestyle, you need to do it on your own, without the help of any man. Now, one of the things, sometimes I hate attacking single birthing parents. I'm not going to give them the title of mother, because a great majority of them are not deserved of the fact. And no, I don't consider widowed mothers to be single mothers. I'm talking about the welfare queens, the hood rats, the trailer trash. Doesn't matter. Hey, even some low neighborhoods. Okay? I love it when they're in a job group and they say, the first thing they say out of their mouth is, I am a single mother. Translation, I make poor decisions. Please give me a job. I'm desperate, but I'm still not going to provide a usable frame of reference or workers where you're going to be able to get any business done. Another one is, my kids come first. Really, your kids come first? No, your kids really don't come first. You're saying, I come first by telling people my kids come first, but the reality is you want the attention. It has nothing to do with the children. One of the things Christianity talks about compassion, but they also talk about false compassion. What's false compassion is, oh, please feel sorry for her. She's a single mother. Sorry, apologize for that. She's a single birthing parent. Translation, I want to feel good for myself, feel good about myself by offering this false compassion. I'm somebody that loves children. Used to be a kindergarten teacher, but just too old to do it. They run around crazily. I enjoy the antics, but one of the things is like when you might want to, when they're first learning to walk, they fall down and your immediate instinct is to grab them so they don't fall and they don't hit the ground. The reality is when they hit the ground, they are building their muscles and they're learning to get back up again and try again. So the person that's always going to help the child, even when they're falling, is offering a false compassion compared to the one that lets them hit the ground. I say that my father, best gift to me, one of the best gifts that he ever gave me, was the gift of the word no. Why is that good? Because he's saying that, well, if I wanted something, I'm going to have to go out and earn it myself. If I wanted to do this, I have to do it. Sometimes when I did, I go out, earned extra money, mowed people's lawns, cleaned the garage, whatever. And then, I decided after I did all that work, I didn't want to spend the money. I didn't want the product anymore. In the Ukraine, we have a museum here called the Museum for Useless Things. If you've been surrounded by people, family like I have, whose majority of my family has died, and you've had to see how much has been accumulated. You look at their life and saying, okay, did the sum of your life add up to what you've accumulated, or did the sum of your life add up to what you've been able to spread? Have you been able to spread joy? No, I'm not saying money. I'm saying joy. Have you been able to spread happiness? Have you found pleasure in going to the park? Have you found joy in just having a picnic with your family and your friends? Ukraine is a very poor country, but yet at the same time, they have found joy, and Kiev is one of the 50th friendliest cities. So enjoy. Okay, so another thing was how this dating was saying, men, you have to give single mothers a try. You have to give single mothers a try. I know a lot of single mothers a try. Well, for one thing, she was doing her video out of a car. Okay, so if you were a successful matchmaker, why don't you have a studio in your office where you can meet? Also, your standards, what her standards is not our standard. So you have to look at what we are desiring. You have to look up at what we need. Okay, so if you're a single mother, then your home should be efficient, your finances should be together, you should be well run, you should have a well run household. But the reality is, single mothers were unable to keep their men. One, either they chased them away or they made poor decisions. We are not the ones that give access to sex. You are the ones that do that. Women are the ones that give access to success. Now, also, to me, I also speak matchmaker. And I always say matchmakers are the ones, one of the three professions that you have to fail at your job in order to be good at it, to be successful at it. Because the more you can have him coming back to pay you for that matchmaking, the more money you make. The best way, well, at least for Ukrainians, just find picnics. Just go to church. Over here, they're a deeply spiritual and religious people. Yeah, you're going to run into some con artists, you're going to run into some. So I recommend don't flash, don't let them know that you're a foreigner. Although if you're just starting out, like me in my case, so it worked out for me. Well, I hope it's working out for me. Okay, we'll never know that until one of us dies or kills each other. Okay, that's a joke, YouTube, that's a joke. Okay, so they're saying, dear men, please stop having standards. You're making my job too hard for me. Now, ladies, I'm not saying lower your standards. What I'm saying is you have to look at the perspective differently. Can your man work with his hands? Yes. Give him more points. Does he go to Starbucks every weekend? Did you meet him at places where he overpays? Then that is not a good person to go out with. Hey, don't knock it until you try it. I have a friend whose girlfriend gave him a coupon book, buy one, get one free for when they went out. Now, you should do that because think about it. You are saving that money for a future and you are teaching him, say, hey, look, I value and respect you for the money you earn, and I don't want you to waste it. One day we are going to have kids. But no, see, that's it. But like I said, I don't advise American men to get involved in any way with an American woman. Okay? Now, here's another thing that I try to explain. Say that your grandfather or long-lost uncle gives you $10,000. And he says, in order for you to keep it, you can keep what's left, but you have a choice of going to 3 casinos. And you have to bet this. One of the casinos gives you a 20% chance of winning. Another casino gives you a 70% chance of winning. And another casino gives you an 85% chance of winning. Which casino are you going to go to? The one that's 85%. Okay. Now, I don't want to leave the men out, okay? Because like I said, Wednesdays usually given to the women to give them dating advice. But I don't want to leave the men out, and I asked them for what dating advice would they give their younger self. They're saying, Christopher says, just be you and give 0 Fs. If that bothers them, too bad for them. Yeah, just be yourself. Because how long can you pretend to be somebody else? Okay. Another one says, don't. That's my agreement. That's the best of all. Saying find a virgin or don't bother. Yeah, well, that's going to be a problem. You're going to have to get them at 16, so maybe going to Alabama or something. No, go to a different country where it's frowned about, like China. Okay, Thailand is a different story. Okay, again, another one's MC Jones. Says don't bother. Terry, he says, first rule, never sticking crazy. And second rule, don't marry. I added my third rule. Don't marry in a state that has lifetime alimony and high alimony. So that would be, would probably be your best bet would be Georgia and Texas. Stay away from Florida. Even though I love President DeSantis of the Free Republic of the state of Florida. Okay, Tommy says dating exposes you to parasites. Yes, because there is an entire subreddit that belongs to how to exploit men. Okay. And then here, not valid for Sweden. I don't even waste 50 cents on any female ever. Okay. All right. So just avoid, so next week, I'll probably give life advice to men on what you should do when starting out. I don't want to be a negative Nelly, showcasing all the negative stuff. All right, thanks. Don't forget, check below for other uploads on other sites.